All right, are you getting audio now? Audio? Okay, there we go. Forgot to add myself and then make this solo. I forget. Yeah, it's been a while, so apologize for that. We'll get it. Anyway, today we're doing some Star Wars from the 1997 Heroes and Villains. I'm going to just start with the TIE Fighter pilot. I have actually never colored a TIE Fighter pilot. Technically, they're all black, so that's going to be interesting. If I finish them, I've got a Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight printed and ready to go. So, I don't know. This one might take a while, so we'll see. Anyway, we've got him. I'm going to start with just the basic 12 count Prismacolor set. It's got black, it's got red. It's got most of the basics. So yeah, I'm going to start with that. As you can see, I've only used the orange and apple green in this one. Because, and no, I don't need the extender. I probably will need, again, I'll just say it now, I've been on vacation and I haven't actually really done any just content for myself. So I'm realizing now I'm not. There it is. Just looking for my white paint pen because we're going to need that for stars in a little bit. So anyhow, all right, now that all of that is done, let's get started. I'm going to start with the background. And one of the things I like about this book is it's just pretty much blank background. So it can be whatever I want it to be. So I'm going to just start with violet blue. And I'm going to start, I'm going to do like a star background. Some space because it's, you know, Star Wars. It's set in space. And, yeah, so yeah. And really quick, this came in the mail today. I got this on eBay recently, which is pretty cool. It's I had this as a kid. It's the original Marvel Comics, illustrated Star Wars, i.e. their comic the miniseries that became a regular ongoing series. But it's all in black and white, and it's popped up. It was like it's kind of beat up, but this is the first, technically the first Star Wars coloring book I had as a kid. I had some fine line markers, and I would color in it. And then it got wet a few times and all the markers bled and I recolored it. I think I might do something cheesy and start scanning the pages and maybe do color it page by page or something. I don't know yet. It was like $5 plus shipping and I was like, how can I not? And it's beat up enough that it'll be easy to scan it without, the spine's already kind of beaten and broken up. So I think I'm going to scan it in and clean it up a little and maybe turn it into some coloring pages, and that would be fun. But anyway, yeah, it was kind of cool to get that today. On sort of my first real day back. I mean, I have had everything, all this content scheduled to hit while I was off. Sort of busted my behind for a couple weeks. Grinding so I could take the time off, and I'm really grateful for it. So it was good. It is also really weird because I'm so used to doing YouTube stuff, and there were a couple days where I didn't even go watch people's live streams or, you know, like go sit and chat or anything. I kind of made myself take a few days just to not engage with YouTube or whatever, and it was weird, but it was also good. I feel like right at the end there, I was feeling a little crunchy about just YouTube in general. So it was a good break. I recommend anyone who is watching who does any sort of content creation, schedule a week or two off here and there just to like disengage as much as possible. So again, I had a bunch of stuff scheduled, but I still kind of had to promote. So we're getting to the end of my 1 year of daily shorts. We've got like today is the 5th. The 20th will be 1 year where I've released a short, a time-lapse coloring short every day. So we've got 15 days left, which is pretty cool. Hello, Toy Mama. Lovely to see you. Thanks for popping in, Christina. I appreciate it. Muchly. And hello, Alex. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you had the night off, and I'm glad you're not asleep right now, because it's lovely to see you. And Stanley's Toy Channel. Hello. Welcome back. I'm glad you are back. I hope you know that while you were on your break, people were wondering where you were and if you were okay. So if you ever wonder, we were all sort of a couple weeks into you taking time off. We were all like, where's Stanley? I hope he's okay. So I'm glad to see you back. You were missed. So, all right. Looks like we're caught up with chat. So yeah, anyway. And you know, like I still like chatted with some of y'all on Instagram and stuff. So it's not like I was completely just gone, but sort of avoided YouTube. And I definitely, again, like I said, I recommend if you are making any sort of content, disengage as much as you can here and there. I sort of came out of it on the other side thinking I'm going to try to aim to every year take a couple weeks off in June. Just again, it was really good for me. And you know, I wanted to take some time off around Christmas, but that'll be a little bit easier. Throw a bunch of end of year compilations together and stuff. So now that I'm not making a short for every day of the year, I have a little extra time to make longer content. So that'll be fun too. Anyway, good. Yeah, it's good to have you back. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm glad you're back, Stanley. I hope everything's okay, and I hope you were just taking some needed time to regroup and recharge. So, but anyway, for the handful of you who watched these on the replay and are curious about the coloring side of it and aren't just here to listen to me ramble about stuff, I'm using Prismacolor Violet Blue to start sort of the background. This TIE Fighter pilot is all black. So normally to do space, I would do violet, and then I would do some layers of black, or I would do the Charon Dosh, the water-soluble crowns, but I'm just going to do it with Prismacolor today. I'm just going to use this violet so that when I do sort of start going in with the black, he will stand out more and it won't, hopefully, it won't sort of all fade. We'll see. This is an experiment. I tried to work it out in my head, but I was like, let me just wing it a little and not do any practicing on it. I've done Darth Vader before, so I think winging it might work out. And it might not. It may look like a hot mess, but sometimes things have to look like a hot mess so that you can get better at stuff. So unless you're my ex's mom, and then you just always look like a hot mess and never get better. But she's got her own things happening in life. You know, karma. We call it karma. Oh, barbecue is good. Hello, Adam. Lovely. Yeah, sometimes you just have to, I don't know. Like I've got a couple of videos that I worked on a little bit yesterday, because even though it's not technically, it's yesterday was a holiday here in the US. There are a few things that I needed to work on so that everything can come out on time in July. And I say that as if, and any release schedule I have is 100% in my head. But I kind of like having a regular release schedule of stuff. So I like having the it's good for me to have the consistency of releases. I try to have a video every Monday. While there are still toy booklets scanned and made like every Saturday, there will be a toy booklet video. Except last Saturday, I did one of my shorts. I've been compiling those up for a while now, and I did the second half of the Star Wars stuff. So, I don't know. I just like having regular releases. And especially since I'm going to stop doing shorts in a little, well, not completely, but I'm not going to have a short every day. I want to focus a little bit more on long-form content. Finally get around to doing some of the tutorials on like skin and hair and space. So anyway, let's get all this background, which is going to be space. Get it all in there. Oh, well, I hope all of the life issues have worked out okay and everything's good. So sometimes outside of the YouTube content creation, sometimes that life needs stuff that necessitates taking time off. So hopefully everything is okay. So yeah, it's I had noticed Adam took a few weeks off, and it's good. Like I think it's, you know, it's fun sometimes to grind a little, but it's also like important, especially because none of us sort of in our little circle of creators, none of us are like raking. I mean, most of us aren't monetized. Even those who aren't monetized to the level where any of us are bringing in enough money to make this a full-time job. So this is, you know, like a passion project, side hustle for most of us. So it's really important to remember to take some time off here and there, just so that real life doesn't suffer. Speaking of real life, today is me and Matt's 8-year anniversary. So after I finish this stream, it's ridiculously hot here in the Pacific Northwest, so we're not gonna go out for dinner or anything, but we're gonna order something nice and just have an evening at home. But so I'm gonna do the stream, sort of get back into the swing of it, and then disconnect for the rest of the night. So it'll be pretty cool. So yeah, that's real life sort of dictating. I mean, it would be kind of weird to not take off the evening of the anniversary, but I don't know, there are people who do that. Anyway, I'm glad you were able to make it too. I've missed, you know, like you know, often would pop into my streams, and I always appreciate people popping in, but always like the positivity you bring. So thank you. Thank you. Oh, hello, Aaron. Lovely to see you. Thank you. I'm going to message you in the next couple of days about stuff. So about rescheduling and stuff so that we can get our next G.I. Joe coloring session in. For those who have missed it, Aaron and I are coloring pages from an old G.I. Joe coloring book. I'm going to try to, I'm not, no, do or do not, there is no try. We are going to, between he and I, we're going to get the whole thing colored, and then Aaron is going to narrate it, and I'm going to stick it up as a video on the channel. So it's going to be great. But with vacation and Joe Fest and life and whatnot, we were going to do a pre-record, and we didn't get to do that. So we'll get that rescheduled so that we can keep that going on track, because that's one of the many projects I'm working on that really excite me. So Well, you're the best. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's the longest I've ever been in a relationship without there being breakups in the middle of it. So 8 years today. Like I had one other relationship that technically lasted 8 years, but we broke up so many times. But you know, that's what happens when it's a Carl. There's a reason I make all the jokes about the Carls. They all overlapped, and the longest of them all, it was like this. It's like a 10, 15. I mean, like we were talking like in 2012, I think, after like a couple of years of not talking. So anyway, this is the longest concurrent, non-dramatic. We haven't broken up once. We haven't ever had a serious argument because we're both pretty. I mean, despite the fact that I color old coloring books and talk about old toys on the internet, it's a pretty mature relation. You know, we're both mature people, so, and we old. Once you get to a certain age, all the drama is really easy to avoid because you're just too damn tired to be too dramatic. And so, have a friend who's like still dates like she's in her 20s and she's still like, I'll still randomly get messages from her, you know, and instead of like phone, you know, voice messages in the middle of the night, it's Facebook messages where it's like they're, you know, like she and whatever boyfriend she's currently with are, it's just some people are stuck in their 20s, and I love that for her. I hope it makes her happy, but boy, I would. It makes me hurt to think about still acting like, you know, still having relationships like in my 20s. So I think I did, Aaron. So thank you. Thank you. Hello, Oz. Lovely to see you. Thank you for popping in. Lovely as always. Trying to get my stream back on after all my time off. So it's a good sign for Oz to show up. He is the patron god of live streaming at this point. It is my intention, Oz, tomorrow I'm going to jump on Clubhouse. We'll see how it goes. It's going to depend on how wiped out I am after anniversary celebration tonight. But that's the goal. Jump on for a little bit. And again, for those who pay attention to the coloring and the replay, even right now, I know there are a couple of people who work. And nothing wrong with that. You don't have to chat. I'm using just Prismacolor Violet over that violet blue, sort of create this background space area. I want that pretty dark, so when I go in with the white paint pen, it'll show up. So a quick and easy way to sort of create a background / space. I wanted to try to stick to the 12 colors in this, and because he's all black, technically, it should be easy-ish. I do know the buttons and stuff, there's going to be some red and some blue, but for the most part, it's going to be, I might do the eyes red, and then technically these are silver, so I need to figure out, because normally I would create silver with like black and white and gray. But I only have black and white in here, and with all the other black, it might not work so well. So anyway, like I said earlier, it's either going to be a train wreck or it'll work out. Either way, lessons will be learned. And I have a couple of other books that have TIE Fighter pilots in them, so if this one doesn't come out great, that's fine. I'll be able to try again until I get it. And so I'm just going in over all the places that look a little light to me with the purple. Well, not purple, it's violet. So purple is completely different, but you get what I'm saying. All right, there we are. All right, now we have a background. Oh no. Huh. Woot. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's some good ones in that. It's a great Delta 17. And it's super cool because, of course, we all know Ken. I think we all know Ken. And the fact that Ken is involved with them, and there's so Death Sparrow is just, she's the only one I have right now. I need to get Kestrel still, but she's just so cool. Like, I have her on the shelf with my vintage Scarlet and Cover Girl. I don't have Cover Girl vintage anymore. I need to grab one. But I've got Jinx and Zorana, and I need to. My O-ring Lady J broke. The O-ring finally gave up the ghost. I need to fix that. But she's, and Crystal Ball, of course. Because Crystal Ball, despite the shade everyone gives him, is one of my favorite G.I. Joe characters. I like all the weird ones. And the fact Crystal Ball was created by Stephen King and his son Owen back in the day was really cool to me because I was a big Stephen King fan. Like, I started reading Stephen King in like 4th grade because of well, technically before that, I still have The Shining from my mom's bookshelf like in 1st grade. I just didn't know what most of the words were. But as soon as I could learn how to, like, I could actually read and had learned enough to read at a slightly more adult level, it was Firestarter, Carrie, The Shining. And so when I heard Stephen King had created a G.I. Joe with his son, I was all about it. And Crystal Ball was super cool. I know people make fun of him, but I'm a big fan of the weird sci-fi G.I. Joe phase. That was when I got really interested in it. Cobra Law and Snake People. I'm still cherry picking classified, so I'm not going after the Once a Man Cobra Commander, but if I were all in, I would be super stoked. But for me, classified is just the ladies and my favorite. So when Crystal Ball gets released in classified, he's going to be my first. I'm going to buy him right away. So my other all-time favorite Raptor is coming out soon. And again, another one people make fun of, but I like all the weirdos. Like, I like all that weird sci-fi. Like, I'm from, my family is military though, so it wasn't very much as, like, fun to play G.I. Joe before it got weird because it was just like, ugh. It was like getting stuck at a boring family reunion, to be honest. So, not that I don't appreciate the military, but when you're a kid, you just don't. You just don't care. You're just like, this is boring. I'm ready to go. And go watch He-Man in the next room. Go play Star Wars or Strawberry Shortcake or whatever it was that week. So, anyway. Well, hopefully she never figures it out, Chris, because you're pretty good. So. It would be really sad if she found somebody else, because you're a good person. I mean, you even like Star Wars. And so, I'm going to tell you, you know, as I color the Star Wars, I have unsubscribed from so many Star Wars channels over the last few weeks because it's just like, I'm not. Like, if you don't like the Acolyte or whatever, that's great. Just don't watch it. But all this negative, all the negative videos, it's just like, oh my gosh. I don't know. I enjoyed the sequels though, so I know I'm already a little bit of a weirdo. Thank you very much. You have a good one as well, Christina. I hope you and Adam have an amazing dinner. Thanks for popping in. I was gonna watch it on vacation and I did not get around to it, Alex. I'm going to. Like, I have so much to watch, and like I was gonna get Stranger Things season 14 watched, or season 4 watched, and didn't get to that. I got a bunch of stuff caught up on this, so that was good. I went into Netflix and cleared out a bunch of the movies that have just been sitting in my queue, and a bunch of the sort of docu-series and stuff. So I got a bunch of stuff cleared out when I was, you know, taking my time off. But a lot of it also was just spent sort of, I napped a lot, which was nice. And there were a couple times I was out having martinis and happy hour and sitting by pools and going to beaches and stuff. So I went outside. And that was important to just sort of get out and away, because so much of my life is in buildings connected to internet. Even, you know, for my day job, I am constantly connected to like the internet, and we're a web-based service basically. So it was good to just not be constantly sitting there monitoring an email box, or, you know, on Discord, because we use Discord for work. So it was nice to have some downtime and not have to open stuff. So I am just using black, and I'm just gonna hope that through shading I can not lose all the details. So I'm gonna do the visors in red, and I'm gonna do like blue and red for the buttons. And this is this is black on, like, I'm going by the action figure, not the actual costume, but this was always black on the figure, and then this was like white, and there's some gray in there, but again, I don't have gray in here. So I'm gonna get a little creative with the blue and the yellow, to sort of liven it up a little bit, but I'm gonna mostly just do black here, so hopefully it works. Feeling okay about how the, you know, sort of the black is coming out. I feel like I'm going in with enough variance to how heavy I'm going in, that it'll be fine. So, but we'll see. At the end of it, it might just be a big blob with a couple pops of color. And if so, I'll know not to do this again. But since this is an all new thingy, an all new character that I've never done before, it's kind of just how it works. It's funny because the other page I had printed out for today was Jedi Knight Luke, and he is also, and I don't know why the stupid light, which never wants to turn down or off, keeps going off today. But here we are. But yeah, so we finished with Jedi Knight look though. Technically, it's I think set it's one of his poses from Jabba's sail barge. So for the background, it'll be white, paler blue and stuff. So that one it'll stand out a little bit more than the space stuff will. But I don't know if we'll get to that because we're already like 30 minutes in, and I'm barely made a dent. So we'll just see. All right, let's see. Oh no, I'm sorry. Nice. Yeah, I haven't watched The Boys or Fallout. Matt watched both of them and told me I'll enjoy both of them, but it's time, just getting the time to watch stuff. I originally was gonna watch that, and I've seen so many bad reviews of it from people who like normally like stuff that I like, who just did not enjoy it. That I don't know if I mean, like at some point, yeah, but I'm not gonna make it. At first, I was like, I need to watch this, and then I watched a couple reviews, and the points that and these are people that I pretty much respect their opinions, and often when they do a review of something I have seen, like the things they don't like about it or their critiques of it are the same things that I had, and based on those, like I don't feel any rush to watch. It's weird because I really liked like say Watchmen, like I really liked that, but like I don't know. I think it was Sucker. It was he did Sucker Punch, right? Like for me, Sucker Punch, I didn't quite get. Like it felt really off, and it was too bad because I really went into that really expecting to like it and just didn't. It was very stylistic. There were some great sequences in it, but there wasn't much movie. And I, in general, have sort of, my experience of the Schneiderverse DC stuff was a lot of his things for me didn't feel like it had much substance. And I know like the people who really like his stuff feel differently, and I love that for them. I'm glad they enjoyed it. I just don't. Like his Superman was too bleak and dreary. I like a bright Superman should be cheerful. And what bleak and dreary is what Batman is for, and I don't know. I just really enjoy the Schneiderverse. So I don't know what I also didn't much care for 300. I don't think that's the name of it. The like highly stylized, like Roman soldier stuff. I don't know. People liked it. I didn't. I liked Watchmen though. So I liked some of the stuff. I just haven't liked a lot of this. I liked he did the what? Didn't he do the Dawn of the Dead remake? That was him and James Gunn, I thought, for some reason. Interesting how like I much prefer James Gunn at this stage than I do Schneider. But I don't know. We all have different taste. So yeah, and that's a great point, Stanley, because that's a lot of what's happened with me is I'm sort of I watch a lot of live streams. I watch a lot of YouTube content. Yeah, and most of it's not true. I think, ironically, most of the sort of fiction in my life right now is from Duchess of Darkness and Bobby Dangerously stuff. But I'm not watching as much as I used to, and it kind of comes down to I like sort of the action. I don't know if it might be parasocial of me, but I like sort of the connection you can make to a content creator where like like there's a lot of stuff, a lot of TV shows and movies where for me it feels like anyone could make that, and there's nothing special about it. Whereas with YouTube content, like for me, it's so individual. Like even if you're sort of watching the same, like same toy reviews or whatever, one channel, just based on who the channel is going to be completely different and their vibe. And it's just, I don't know. Right now I'm way more into spending my time enjoying small creators who are making stuff that they're passionate about and makes them happy. Whereas so much of like Hollywood output, and this doesn't, I'm not one of those Hollywood is evil and whatnot, but a lot of it is so over marketed that it's hard to connect to it. And it's different with YouTube. Like you find a creator who is sort of small and not huge, and like you can actually connect to what they're making. And even if you don't sort of support them in other ways. So but yeah, I do way more YouTube. It's kind of what's been weird this last week is I haven't done a lot of YouTube. And sort of, I mean, this morning I've been catching up, but kind of felt like out of the loop in a weird way. And just like, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, thank you. I just send research for, thank you, but I just do a bunch of research, send it to Jay, and he and Dan use whatever they need. So it's fun though. Like, like it's kind of fun to have, have a reason to spend hours and hours doing deep dives into Masters of the Universe and Mattel and all of this. So, but thank you. I appreciate that. Like, it's been a lot of fun. I think the last season just hit. Was it this? Yeah, it was this. The last episode just hit of the first season the other day. I haven't listened to it yet because it happened in the middle of me sort of stepping away from watching and listening to stuff. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But I'm not. Jay hasn't sort of decided yet what season 2 will be, so it'll be interesting. Hopefully, it's a toy line I don't know. It would be kind of cool if like he does another season, and it lines up that I can help with research. If it's a toy line I know nothing about, because Masters of the Universe was really like I know a lot about it, so there's a lot of fun stuff I found, but that was really more about sort of curating certain material and certain stories, and sort of playing to the strength of whoever the guest was going to be. Like, oh, this person's coming on, like I know they're really into this, so let's make sure that there's extra of this. So it'd be really kind of cool, I think, if it's a toy line I don't know as much about, because there'll be a lot more of it, me just figuring out what the toy line's really about. So, but yeah, thank you. Like, it's been a really fun gig so far, and like I said, hopefully things line up that he does another season, and I can help him out with that season 2 on research. So. It's fun to geek out. Was he? Oh, Ryan. Ryan Dole is the best. So, yeah. Yeah, it's 86, 87, and then the movie with a little bit of 88. And my attention span is short today. Eldor, if I did not say hello, I apologize. Hello. I'm glad to see you. I feel like I did, but I might have just thought I did because I was trying to keep everything together. So, also, Eldor, I need to check in with you because if I remember correctly, we had chatted about you joining me again, like in September or October, if I remember correct. I have to look at the messages. For another Sunday stream with some of your original art. So I will check in with you so that we can make sure that we're doing whatever we need to do to make that happen, because that was a lot of fun when you joined me a few weeks. It's probably months ago, but time is weird. But yeah, so we'll check in with you so we can make that happen, because I had a lot of fun hanging out with you that day and loved doing original art. So let's see. Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, I'm definitely not losing the details with the black, so the shading is working. And this will be helped immensely once I go in with the sort of the red for the eyes and pop in the stars in the background. So that it's coming out pretty good. Yeah, at least isn't a big blob of darkness, which is what we used to call my ex's grandmother, was the blob of darkness. And so she would just show up and all the light would leave the room. But that's more of a personality thing than it was any sort of, you know, she was not fun at parties, and definitely don't give her too much to drink. All right. Let's see, that looks pretty good. Exactly. Exactly, Chris. One day, my ex and his family will find these streams, and they will like me even less than they already do, and that's okay, because you don't have to be liked by everyone, especially when people are, what's the word, we garbage, when they're garbage. So all right, there we go. Oh yeah, he's coming around nicely. Yeah, it's definitely a them problem. Like, I mean, like, I'm not for everyone. That's definitely not. Um, I'm too old at this point to like be upset if somebody doesn't like me. Um, some people probably even have valid reasons to not like me. But as far as them, that whole the wish version of the Adams family, like, I don't care. I care even less about them because they're just sort of dreadful people. So, if Dumpster Fire was a family, it would be them. So. Oh my god, I don't have either of those yet, so I am envious. I need to buckle down on Turtles of Grayskull. I have, I think today, um, my shipment with the Cartoon Collection Merman will show up. But my last Turtles of Grayskull was Tila and Casey Jones showed up, so that wave. But it's funny, I didn't like the whole concept of Turtles of Grayskull at first. I thought it was not a cool, I just didn't like the idea of it. And as I've gotten those figures are in hand. Some of them are among the best I don't know. There's some of them are really amazing, and I really like some of the designs, not as much. I don't think the turtles themselves have translated as well as like a lot of the the other character. I think Motu has done better, sort of with the translation of it. I think most of the turtles, the hair piece, it's a little sus. But like the Man at Arms, the Shredder and the Casey Jones are both amazing. Like those are two of probably the best. That Skeletor is my favorite modern. It's my favorite Skeletor since the original 1982. Like I like him even better than like the 2000 X design. Like he just looks really cool. So there's been some good figures to come out of it, which again was a surprise. I was not expecting that. So, but yeah, so. Oh, nice. I need to go and see. I haven't gotten any alerts about your having new videos up, so I'm gonna have to go and look up your channel and check that out because yeah, he is one that Skeletor is the cool. He's just the coolest. Like he looks so cool. Mm-hmm. So I think these little things I'm gonna. I don't know if they're it's supposed to be vents or if they're just a design element or grippies or whatever. But I'm gonna make those blue just so that there's something, a little extra something to sort of pop out. Um, yeah, the mask isn't as good. The mask though 100. One of the things I will say about every one of the Turtles of Grayskull figures, is all of them so far I really want duplicates because the ability to the mix and the match of origins for me in general with the Turtles of Grayskull, like there are a lot of really cool like characters to be made through kit bashing, like all the parts from Casey, like to put those on another, like I want another one of the Beastman just to use that armor for another character because that arm, like a lot of people are like, this Beastman is really lame, like it's lazy, and I'm like, I'm glad it's just a regular Beastman under there because one, there are a lot of people who don't have that original Beastman, but also too, like they didn't need to do anything because that armor is so cool, and I'm just gonna get another one and put that on a different character and have a whole new character. So I feel like maybe I'll get two and then use them as some sort of guards for that Skeletor. And then I've got extra Beastman for various Beastman things since the original like 2020 Origins Beastman is so expensive on the aftermarket now. Hello, Bud. Nice to see you. And I wonder, while you're here, thank you, Bud. Bud and I did a pre-record that helped me take some of my time off. So thank you, Bud. It was great hanging out with you, but also thanks for, helping me facilitate that time off. It was very much appreciated. So, and it was fun to hang out. You and I have only ever like hung out on Clubhouse with all those other people, so it was kind of cool just you and I getting to chat and talk about stuff. And so we will have to do it again sometime. start stockpiling more pre-records. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I know Mattel has sort of, somebody asked about like the battle packs, like the armor, the accessories and stuff, the weapons pack, like from the vintage line, and then they did those in classics. I really think they should do like a Turtles of Grayskull, a couple accessory packs that's just like all the armor in different colors and the weapons. And I honestly feel like Mattel is missing out a little bit and sort of missing the boat on Origins by not doing that, just because of how swappable the parts are. Like if they were to release weapons pack with armor in different colors, like I feel like it would sell really well. So, and if you release it with the right parts, it would have cleared off all of those Chip and Dale stripper Stratoses from the shelves. You could have thrown some extra Avian Warriors or like the bee people in there, so that all those. I mean, I know Lee at Lee's Custom Figures and did some like some parts and stuff, but Mattel could have easily just reused Stratos' head and like recast it in different colors. But I guess that's not in their wheelhouse these days. So, yep. Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, especially Hasbro used to do it too with G.I. Joe. I remember getting a couple of those G.I. Joe weapons pack before I was even buying G.I. Joe stuff. I would get those and use those with Star Wars. Princess Leia had a Scarlet crossbow more than once because we would get those weapons packs, and I would just give the crossbow to Princess Leia. So, and there's so many companies who are doing like pack outs like that, but it just seems weird to me that both companies are sort of, they've got all the tooling, like, and it's not like even they need to even do new stuff. Like like the original weapons pack was like Beastman, Zodak, the Castle stuff, and He-Man weapons, just in different plastic. Like they could literally just do that, like release all the same stuff in a couple different colors. That's how the weapons packs in classics was. I mean, there were way more. Then there were some unique pieces in those, but at the same, that's how we got. I think the vintage figure version of Cowl was one of those, which is why I bought a weapons pack, so I could have the Cowl. But yeah, I don't know. It seems odd to me that neither of those two companies are fully exploring stuff like that, when it would be so easy to go in and maybe do one or two new pieces to go in it, but otherwise just remold it in different colored plastics. Yeah, and I don't know. It's like with a line like Origins, and I get it even less because the whole point of Origins is sort of to pay homage and harken back to the original vintage line, and that weapons pack was a big part of the original line. So I don't know, it's just odd to me. I mean, I know they've re-released the main parts. Like Wondar has the black Zodak armor, and Mossman came with the yellow Beastman stuff. But there's so many different colors from all the international versions of figures that they could easily adjust. You could do a pack with a Leo Faker head and pop that on the Skeletor body. So I don't know. I guess this is why I don't work at a toy company, or maybe I would understand why they don't do stuff like that. Yep, exactly. Yep, I agree. That would be really cool. Yeah, exactly. Again, like, it's just, to me, really strange. Yep, blue He-Man weapons pack would be really cool. And again, it just, I don't know, it seems really odd to me that a lot of these companies, it just feels like they're missing the boat to me. And again, I try not to be that person who like whines, like about all the things that they don't do right. But I don't feel like that's quite what this is. It's like, I want to give you more of my money, companies, and here's a way that you can easily take more of my money without, some new packaging, but otherwise those molds are there already. They're using them for other things. So it's not even like it's that much extra. So again, I don't know. Maybe there's some reason that I just, because I don't work there and I don't have marketing degrees, I don't get. I'm definitely not sort of the type of person who assumes because I'm a lifelong toy collector, I know everything. Yeah, Legends of Dragonmore. That's a great line. Exactly. Yeah, that would be really smart. But again, what do we know? All right, so I'm definitely not losing the details, so that's good. This method is working, so I'm glad. I'm gonna finish the head for sure, and then I'm gonna go in a little bit and start adding some color before I get back to all the black in it. But also I've realized now that I'm coloring more that some of this is, I think, background. So yeah, like this is his shoulders right here. These are tubes. But this is, I think, it was like background. So I think he's supposed to be in a TIE fighter, but yeah. So I'm going to go in with the blue and the violet and finish that out. And then this, whatever it is, I can put some color into it. So, but first I'm going to finish the head. And then I can, using the black this much, I'm starting to lose the perspective of it. So it's good to sort of take a break when you have an object that's all of one color. For me anyway, it's good to take a break here and there and go pick out other things just so that I don't lose sight of it. Thank you, Junkman. Thanks for popping in. It's good to see you. How are you doing today? That would be really cool. I would be down with the Jenica as part of the Turtles of Grayskull. That would be super rad. All right, we are going to. I'm taking a break from the black because, like I said, I'm starting to go a little colorblind from it. So I'm gonna go in with, again, for those of you who watch these for the coloring part of it, this is just true blue. And I'm gonna add a little blue in here and there, just so that we don't lose too much to all the black. I was looking through some of the old Marvel coloring, the old Marvel comic books last week, and it was interesting to me how much blue and purple they used even on Darth Vader in those. So I started trying to do that because I've been doing a lot. Vader, I sort of do like this where it's just all black, and that doesn't always translate as well. So I'm going to start trying to work in a little blue here and there for Vader so that he's not completely lost to everything. Put a little violet in at the bottom, and then I'm just going to blend it. Kind of help give it some shadow. It doesn't need to be screen accurate. I mean, unless that's what you want, but I have a bunch of the original Kenner coloring books that I'm going to at some point get to, and they've got a couple of the TIE Fighter pilots in there, so those I'll probably try to be more screen accurate with. But all of these from the 1997 Heroes and Villains book are highly stylized, the art, so I feel a little bit okay mixing it up a bit more than I might if I were going for pure screen accuracy. And now I'm just going to go in and finish the background. Now that I can see it, I was looking at, because I have, again, this came this morning, but the TIE Fighter pilot in here is very odd looking. Let me find something quick. Now, where's he at? Of course, now I'm not finding him, but I should have marked it. Oh, wait, I think, okay. Yeah, so he is, I don't know how well he shows up, but this is a TIE Fighter pilot in the Marvel coloring comic book. These are his eyes, this is all of it. So I'm not, I mean, that's not screen accurate at all. I know Marvel didn't have all of the stuff they needed, but it's just really funny that how inaccurate they were back then. I would assume that's probably part of why George Lucas wanted them to redo them in '97 when for the special editions with Dark Horse, to get rid of all the old, because that one has the original, well, not the original, but it has a non-slug Jabba the Hutt in it. So anyway, like, it's pretty, I don't know, the book's cool. I should probably, at some point when I get to all of my video on all of sort of the print materials that came out with the original movie. I should work on those and sort of work that in, because all of those books were a big part of when we little ones back in the 70s. And you couldn't just pop it into the VCR or the DVD player or turn on the streaming service. It was stuff like that, but that was how we relived Star Wars, was through the comic books and all of the storybooks and everything. And so that's why so many of us remember Biggs Darklighter and think, it's not a Mandela effect. It's just the comic book had it, the story of Star Wars had it, so we just all thought we saw it, but we didn't really. We just saw the pictures and read about it. So, because all of that was made before Marshall Lucas went in and did the re-edit of it. So, hello, lovely to see you guys. Oh, and Toy Connections. Hello, Ken. Are you out of control? No, I just checked. I don't have it loaded in there for you, Ken. So sorry, I can't do the he's out of control for you. But maybe next time. Get that ready. I'm gonna go in and do this light blue for his mouthpiece in here. And again, just so that there's some variance. And then use a little bit more of the purple. A little artistic license, because why not? All right, that's that. All right, let me check really quick. All right, there we go. There's where Ken popped in. Sorry about that. I just got wrapped up and working on this. All right. So I'm gonna do the visors are going to be red, but I'm gonna start out with the canary yellow, so that I can get like a gradient on them. So a little bit of the smudge from the black in there. You can probably see that. Not a big deal. And go in with the orange. Sort of do all that. Ah, yeah, it kind of does. Well, also, it's important to know that one of the guys who, oh gosh, what was his name? John Dykstra, I think. I think that's his name. He was one of the people who went in and worked on Battlestar Galactica, so it's not impossible. I mean, my assumption is some of the Marvel stuff came from production art because they would have gotten stills. I mean, when they would have gotten everything they needed, because the first few comics came out before the movie did. And they sold the first Star Wars posters at like a convention in like 1976. So, so they would have gotten some of the stuff before that final cut. They would have gotten stuff before ILM had finished all of the work. So it's entirely possible because that's that one with the TIE pilot that I showed is from when they're escaping the Death Star. So that one obviously would have been finished a little bit before. The stuff at the end with the Death Star trench, that was all a lot closer to being, that all looked more like what was on screen. But just based on what comic book production times were back then, by the time they probably finished all of that, they probably had better photos to work with than they would have earlier. Which is why some of the earlier stuff in the comic book, the first 3 to 4 issues, is a little bit off because they wouldn't have been had access to the final cut or even some of the final stills. So, but which doesn't happen now because Disney has a much, like we all wonder why Disney doesn't let stuff come out until months and months later. It's because it's not until everything is finalized that the various licensors are able to start making stuff. So there are advantages and there are disadvantages. I mean, if you look at The Force Awakens, there was what, Constable Zubro, I think his name was, Zuko, something like that, where it's like he was a big deal as far as the figures go, and then he wasn't even in the movie because he ended up getting cut. So I would assume some of Disney's shift toward everything coming out later is to prevent more of that. I personally like that kind of stuff. I liked, as a kid, my favorite part was all the characters who had almost no screen time being like, those were my favorite figures. The Cantina aliens were the best. So it also helps my mom liked the Cantina aliens. Those were her favorite. So she really liked Greedo and Hammerhead and Snaggletooth. So she didn't like Walrus Man because she felt like his mouth looks like a baby butt. So, but moms in the 70s. I mean, his mouth does kind of look like a baby butt. So, I mean, she wasn't wrong. That's it. Zuvio. Oh. Yeah, I think I even have. I feel like Hasbro did a snow speeder, and I feel like I bought it. Like that's one of the many Force Awakens toys that I have, sort of sitting in storage right now. So that'll be the nice thing when we get moved and into our new place and whatnot, is being able to finally display everything. All right, there we go. All right. Oh, here we go. Autofocus. Okay, no, it's pretty good. Somebody commented that it looked like he was being tickled off screen in the original picture. I feel like he still has a little bit of that happening, but less so. So no, he just looks like a shady Muppet. So these are supposed to be silver. I'm going to go in with the dark blue and just sort of do some shading. And see if I can sort of mock a silver. I mean, I could just reach over there and grab one of my grays, but I kind of like the idea of not using anything but these 12 colors. So I randomly made a rule about what I can and can't do. So, sorry. I'm just going with the white and sort of blend it a little. There we go. Yeah, Captain Phasma was really hard to find. It took me forever to find Captain Phasma. Yeah, right? It's also, I just don't want to have to remember which 10 I've got all the gray. I have one of these extra 10s that I've gone through that's just all grays, and I have one that's all the sort of not main blues. So, but also it's just going through all of those to find it. Much more fun to just stick to this one 10. So, and I'm going to go in with the black now and sort of try to build out the look to sort of make it a little bit more silver-ish. So, there we go. It's not great, but it's not bad either. So. I might fix that after stream. I might break out one of the silver paint pens and just make it actually silver. I'll think about that. Yes, technically that doesn't break the rule I just made up 5 minutes ago. Oh my god, it's true, Chris. It's true. Anyway, though. I forgot to load my music in today. So you just get to hear me and the sound of the air conditioning in the back. So. I don't know. Like, my assumption on the Empire is that they basically just took over some planet where they made fabric and just took what they wanted. I mean, that seems pretty par for course as far as the state of the galaxy whenever A New Hope starts, is that the Empire is just sort of taken over everything and takes what they want. And if not, they blow you up with the Death Star. So. Wow. And I'm going to do these tubes. I'm going to do them with blue. Again, not particularly accurate, but oh well. It will survive. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they can't send stormtroopers out because stormtroopers can't shoot for anything. But yeah, the Empire just, I feel like, just takes what they want. And world be damned. I have a bunch of music from, his name is Carl Casey, Wipeout Audio. I've got a bunch of free tracks that he provides. It's like synthwave. So I use it in a lot of the shorts. I can use, pop music. You can use copyright stuff in shorts. But for the long form video, a lot of my stuff is his music. Just because it's copyright free. You obviously have to credit him, but I like his stuff. It's moody, and some of it's pretty dark, but that works when I do Masters of the Universe stuff, especially. Like the Masters of the Universe that hit this morning, the Color and Chill of the longer form one is his music, and it for me it fits. It may not work for everyone, but for me it works a lot of the time, which is why I use it. And I have a friend who gave me a bunch of his tracks that I like. I just haven't been able to load those through StreamYard. For whatever reason, StreamYard tells me the files are too big, so I have to figure out what StreamYard's problem is and go from there. So but I meant to do that on vacation, but then I didn't do much of any work related to the channel or like my day job during that time. So I'm gonna pick at that tomorrow and see if I can figure it out, because one of the tracks my friend gave me to use is really sort of nice. It's relaxing. And there is music StreamYard lets you use, but like some of it, I've used it so much that when I put it on, it just annoys me. So and the worst thing is when I am annoyed with myself on a stream, it makes it go much, much slower. So, but yeah, so. And again, this blue is not super accurate, but I like how it looks. So just call it art. Like I said earlier, we're just gonna go with artistic license. And the next time we do a TIE pilot, it will be 100%. But also the other ones one of the other ones I have to do that's a TIE pilot is full body. So it'll be a lot easier to, not have it lose everything to the black of it, because I have more room to do a background with that one to make him stand out. It was weird. I've been doing all the shorts, right? And they go really fast. And I was editing a long form video earlier, and it was really weird because there's a lot of stuff I don't have to edit out of the short from like sort of like if I pause and I look at it, like in a short, you just because it's like 3 to 4 hours compressed into like 30 seconds. And for the longer videos, I film it in real time and then speed it up after I edit it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, all the gaps in it. It was really hard to not get bored because, yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh. And I kept missing editing out stuff. My hand twitches and stuff aren't as noticeable in shorts, obviously, but in the long form content, they pop up. And I try to edit those out. So just, I don't think anyone actually cares if my hand does a twitch or whatever, but it weirds me out when I see it. Like, it's that weird thing where it doesn't look right or whatever. So that's why I don't watch these live streams back. I listen to them back, but I don't actually watch them because all the little twitches and stuff with my hand sort of, I don't know if uncanny valley is quite the right term for it, but I do listen back to them so that I can remember what I've talked about so that I don't bore people with the same 2 or 3 stories over and over. Which I find as I get older, like my mom and my dad both, my mom's passed, but both my mom and my dad used to tell me the same stories over and over, and I would get so annoyed. And as I get older, I realize I've started doing that, and I'm like, oh. So I do watch these back, listen to these back, so that I try not to share the same 5 or 6 stories over and over. Nobody needs that. Yup. Hello. And so anyway, it's been a pretty good time. I might actually finish this by the end of the stream, so that would be cool. I'm gonna go 2 hours today. Probably will not get time to do the Luke one that I had, but I didn't expect necessarily that we would. I just like having a second page just in case. All right, and there we go. Done with all the tubies. So go back to finishing up some of the black parts. And almost done. Just have some buttons, and I'm going to go do the stars. I am probably going to go back with a silver paint pen later and fix these. Because I don't like how those came out. But that's okay. And that's part of figuring it out. All right, and now I'm just gonna go in with the white paint pen and start making stars. All right. Other than the silver paint for up on the symbols, he's about as done as he's gonna get. Also, once the paint on the eyes dries, I'm gonna go in with the red and make it a little bit more of a reflection, but it needs to dry before I can do that. Normally I would go a full 2 hours, but I don't have enough time to start something else. And for the paint to dry, it's about 5 to 10 more minutes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up this stream. I will be live stream again Sunday at my normal time of 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be doing some Masters of the Universe. And I am going to do this page with Triclops and Man-at-Arms and some strange ship that I don't recognize. I don't know if that's a prototype ship or if it's something the artist made up. Adam at the Battle Round blog thinks it was just made up. And I tend to lean into Adam knowing what he's talking about. So, but anyway, I'll work on that Sunday morning. In the meantime, I am going to head out. I thank you all for joining me today. It has been lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eldor. Lovely as always. So yeah, I will post this in a few hours after I can go in and fix this with the paint and then finish the eyes. It will be posted on my Instagram, Retro Toy Princess. It's retro_toy_princess at Instagram, and it'll be up there. So anyway, thank you very much, Alex. Yep, I will see you next time. So thank you for joining me today, and thank you for hanging out while I figure out how to live stream again after taking some time off. So I appreciate you. And until next time, I'm Allison Choi, Retro Toy Princess, out.